I'm going to give a quick summary of the video I just recorded. Long story short, the hot end is actually completely fine. Elegoo was thinking it was the tool end that's busted on my Centauri carbon. Turns out it's actually the USB-C cable that originally came with the printer itself. How do I know that? Well, this third-party cable I have right here is working completely fine. I have fully resurrected my printer, and I just recently finished off an 8-hour print on it without it giving me a single error whatsoever. Now, what made me, or what tipped me off to the fact that it was probably the USB-C cable for the main board to do the tool end and whatnot. Well, when I initially got this printer, it gave me a unable to connect to the tool head error, and I went to reboot it, and that error went away and never showed up again. But when I saw that error, I was like, oh, the cable that they gave me might be bad. Well, lo and behold, turns out that cable finally just outright died on me. And luckily I had a few USB-C cables just laying around. I had this one from Anchor. It's supposed to be able to handle 100 watts. And it's been able to print completely fine with this cable. I haven't had a single issue whatsoever. Now, I guess I do need to monitor the connections on both the main board and the tool end, but generally speaking, I have revived the printer, and I have a more proper cable from Anchor coming in also. This one's the one I'm supposed to be getting, can handle about 240 watts. I doubt the tool end actually draws that much current, but I can't find any actual tech specs of the hot end. So I just gotta go for the stupid high power cable and just be safe instead of using the cable that I know already works. But luckily the USB-C on both the main board and the tool end are a proper normal USB-C. They're not some bullcrap rewiring that some companies do. Apple. Oh, not Apple, well, fucking Nintendo. Should have called Nintendo out on that, but whatever. I don't have a Nintendo product because Nintendo's ass. But with that said, summary of the video, I fixed my Centauri carbon by replacing the original USB-C cable with a third party from Anchor. And again, everything's working completely fine. You can actually see how I more or less routed it together. I do plan on properly routing the cable I'm going to be using, but again, I just want to get it set up temporarily so I can at least get back to starting to print my stuff again. Recently I uploaded a video saying my Centauri carbon is dead. It is still unfortunately dead. Though Elegoo is sending off some replacement parts for me, though it's going to take about a month for them to come in from a slow boat from China. So at the very least they're sending the parts over, but it's going to take a stupid amount of long time. But there's one troubleshoot method I could try to see if maybe I can revive this thing for a little bit. Someone in the comments suggested I try unplugging this and replugging it back in. The reason why I didn't do that initially is because it's held on by hot glue right here. And it's pretty much stuck in, so who knows, maybe it is actually loose, so give me a bit. Now, I highly doubt this will resolve the issue, but I popped it out. The cable looks fine. Pop it back in. It's fully clicked and seated. So one thing they can definitely do to resolve this from popping out, other than using a bit of hot glue, is actually integrate some little bracket onto right here and whatnot. That way, so it actually just stops it from coming loose. I don't know how they would integrate it, but something with screws and whatnot. Maybe move this cable to maybe somewhere over here. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. But either way, I bet they're probably going to be watching this video because I am showing my carbon basically broken. So next up for me to do is to fire it back up and see if I can get it to print again. Alright, so I want to make certain that it is not the cable itself. So I dug up a fairly long cable that's a USB-C on both ends. And generally these cables, even though they're thick, they tend to be standard USB 2 cables. I don't think they have USB 3 ends, but you never know. This is a standard USB 2 data cable, and it's more than enough to run everything and get it to work. Generally, the reason why they're as thick as they are is to try and maintain the rigidity or durability of the cables. Make the sheath a lot more bigger, gives the cabling a little more safety and whatnot. But with that said, time to turn this thing on and see if everything is working properly. Alright, well, it turned on as intended. So next thing I want to do is I want to try the fans and see if I can get the fans to do something. Let's see, model fan. That's blowing. Yep, I can actually see it. Auxiliary, I believe, is that guy right there. Oh, it's that guy right there. Case fan is that guy right there, but that's just that. So let's try this next. I want to, you know what? I'll just send it. All right, so I can see the temp on the nozzle end is definitely heating up, so that's doing its job. The bed ain't doing anything. I don't know why it's saying pausing, but it seems to be properly raising its temps, so we got that. So I'll just let it do its thing and see what happens. I'm a stupid. I don't have filament in the printer. Yeah, so that's exactly why it's hitting pausing. So I'm gonna let it do its thing, and I'm gonna cancel it when I did. I'm not that smart. Have you learned that already? All right, it's so far printing fine, though only time will tell. Now, obviously, it is a fairly short print. I need to do something a little more longer, but I don't really want to waste the blue filament I got on something that may not even print fully. With that also said, I got the horse girl I've been wanting to have since day one finally, so yay. So now I'm going to keep myself occupied playing this while I get to watch this. So I get to keep myself entertained and pray this works. All right, it looks like we have one small successful print. Now again, this is a small print. What I was initially trying to print off is this big old piece right here, which is Cappy's ass. And if I bring up the actual, here's the full-on finished model, and it's taking about 15 hours to print. And as you can see, I'm definitely definitely into the print by a bit. And I got about 6 more hours left, which means this might be done by the time Starship blows up yet again. Not that they even launch it today. I hope they do, because it'll be a nice little fireball I get to watch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it cool off so I can actually pull it off the build plate, get everything reset, and print off the other part of her hand, which is give me a second. This piece right here. This one is going to take 1 hour and 30 minutes. I may have enough filament on this spool to finish it off. If not, well, I got more spools to work with. All right, 2 for 2. So far, so good. It handled a 1 hour and 30 minute print. And it printed off just fine. And yes, I now just remembered that her hands are supposed to be blue. The reason why I did not do that is because I'm using all the blue for Cappy's skirt, and I want to use, well, that for that. So with that said, I'm going to let it sit and cool and do the next print, which is going to be the little connector piece for both halves and whatnot. Alright, so far 3 successful prints. This one was pretty small, but either way it did succeed. So with that said, I'm going to do a more proper test tomorrow when I'm more awake. I mean, technically I can start it, but I'm not going to let it go when I'm asleep, because as of right now, I don't trust this thing. It's nice I'm able to get the parts I was able to get now, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that any more than just these few parts. Alright, it is now the next day, so let's start off with a 2.5 hour print. Alright, make sure everything's set to the way it needs to be. I have also replaced the filament, so it didn't complain there, so let's see what happens. Alright, it is done printing. It took 2 hours and 18 minutes. The Neptune Max, whatever you can call this thing, is doing its job just fine. So far it looks like we're good to go, but with that said, I'm not calling it just yet. Alright, another successful print. So, I think it's not 100% safe to say, but I'm definitely going on the realm of this cable is in fact the one, or is in fact the reason why everything has gone to crap with this printer. So with that said, I'm going to let this cool for a little bit. I'm going to pull it off, get the ponytail situated, and then I'm going to start my next print, which is going to be one of the arm sections for Cappy, because these are going to take fairly long to print. It's going to take about 4 hours to print just this one little section, which will be a good test for this thing. All right, I'm going to do what the kids say, and I'm going to send it. So I got everything set up in a way to where I can test everything. I haven't fully secured the cabling and whatnot. I'm going to do proper routing later on if this thing can survive this print. This is a 4.5 hour print. If it can survive this print without any issues, I'm going to call it, and then I'm going to go through the process of properly routing this cable and whatnot and upload this video. But I won't know until, well, it finishes or it gives me an error. But right now it's working. All right, a little bit over 4 hours later, it is fully complete. I just barely had enough filament on this spool to get it done. And the next part is going to be this right here. I'm currently printing off the other section on here, so I really can't just go and print on this right now because the spool I'm going to use is currently being used right now. So this will be like the true proper test print of this thing. 8 full hours of constant printing, and hopefully we're good to go. But as it currently stands, it looks like I am very much right on the fact that it was a USB-C cable and not something with the actual hot end itself. So with that said, I'm actually going to reroute the original USB-C cable somewhere else. That way so it doesn't get lodged anywhere and whatnot. And have my father order me the cable I'm looking at. There's a little bit more higher draw, so it can actually theoretically handle the draw that this tool head produces. Granted, I don't think it draws that much, but then again, I don't know for certain. So I want to get a USB-C cable that can handle about 200 something watts. I doubt it pulls that much, but I ain't taking a risk. All right, looks like it's done. It took just shy of 8 hours actually. But it printed off completely fine. So I think it's safe to say I have fixed my Centauri carbon. I'm happy I did, which means that cable that I had my father order me isn't going to be put to waste. Well, granted, I'll still be able to use it, but I won't be able to use it for its intended purpose if this printer failed to print, but obviously it didn't. So it very much was the cable that was shipped with this printer that actually died, and it wasn't a hot end like Elegoo thought it was.